Hello, and welcome to Rory's Brainworks, where we get creative and see if it works. Today, we're going to be going on to two subjects, one of which is like a rope information guide part 2, and the other is decorative knots. Now, these knots are not integral towards the structure of it, but they are pretty. And Marie likes pretty things. I'll show you a few of these nice decorative knots, like the double coin knot and the heart knot, before we start getting into some more of the difficult ones. But we will be taking a step backwards into new rope information, not only about the history as new knowledge has come to light, and I'm also going to give you some hard numbers about rope, each different kind, and where to find proper information as to suppleness or weight integrity, breaking limits, and that sort of information. And as we dive into this freshly unearthed well of knowledge, I would like to thank my sponsor, Knothead Nylon.
Knothead Nylon is the destination for all your premium nylon rope bondage needs. Easy to clean, water resistant, up to 1,100 pounds of weight load, and in a wide array of beautiful, vibrant colors, Knothead Nylon will slake your rope desires. At checkout, put in discount code RORY10 for 10% off.
Now, if you remember correctly from the last rope information video, I said something like this. First record of rope being used goes back to Europe, when soft spun twines of cordage cotton rope were tied around fire clay pots, which dates them back 28,000 years. And well, that was true at the time. Literally 2 days later, I received new information. I'm only just now telling you because I found the most appropriate time to do so, but 2 days later after making that video, this new information came across. 3-ply cord found in the Arbre du Maras cave in France is somewhere between 41,000 to 52,000 years old. It is now the oldest findings of primitive rope, created by the Neanderthals no less, not even a primitive human. Now, this common 3-ply cord was a clockwise S-type ply, followed by a counterclockwise Z-type on top of it, creating a wonderfully weaved 3-ply cord, disrupting everything we knew and making me look a little bit silly. Now, another thing that I did want to bring up was on that video, I had mentioned a lot of my own personal experiences and wisdom associated with rope sturdiness, lengths, widths, and what have you. I was pointed out by this person, ow, that some of my information was lacking, and that is true, which could make it rather unsafe, and I am definitely one that owes up to my mistakes. It could have been dangerous, without giving you the full detail and numbers associated with it. Now, I will admit that on that video I did most of my research on the history of ropes, and I spent less time on the harder facts about rope itself, rope in modern times, which seems a little bit more important right now. So I will rectify this, and I will bring you the information that is necessary. That is the difference between wisdom and intelligence in Dungeons & Dragons. Wisdom is using the knowledge that I have seen and used personally, and intelligence is the knowledge of a consensus of many people. Street smarts, book smarts. I'm gonna give you some of the book smarts now. Alright, you are now on top of my computer. Let us begin researching. Now, there are 3 great sources that I like to use personally when researching a lot of Shibari and Kabaku things. Now, these 3 resources are great for anyone who's just learning or in intermediate stages. These sites are the Duchy, Shibari Study, and Crash Restraint. Now, what we are going to be focusing on is mostly Crash Restraint right now. If you go into the ties section on the top, you'll find a comprehensive list of many different ties, but what we're going to be looking at right here is the rope material selection. If you scroll down, you have a large, nice, comprehensive list of ropes and all things about them. This is going to be your best friend. This will provide a lot of necessary information to help you find the rope that best fits you. Rope is very subjective, like I had said before. What you want to use it for, and how it feels, how it works, how it knots, that means something special to you. The more you know, the better it's going to be. I highly recommend looking over the information and coming to your own conclusions. You will find the rope that best fits you. Now, let's get learning about some 2 pretty little knots. It is always important to bring up safe, sane, and consensual Safety. Be sure to have some safety scissors, some bandage shears, what have you, with you at all times. You can always get new rope, but you can't get a new life. Yes, and consensual. Marie and I are both consenting adults. Communication is key. Now let's get to the pretty designs. So we have my silver graphite rope right here. This is the double coin knot. What we're going to do is take the leftmost strand and do an overhand loop. It's an overhand loop because the rope goes over itself first. Then we're going to take the other strand, put it on top of it, and then we're just going to hold that with our thumb. Now what's important to understand about this tie is that we start with under. So this rightmost strand is going to weave around and then through. Now the area it's going to go under here, wrap around, go over this, under, over, and then under. So we'll start with the under. To understand, we go under, over, under, over, under. And then we're going to weave that through. Now once weaved and pulled through, straightened out a little bit, we can see the double coin knot in all of its splendor. As you can see, you kind of have two coins that are intertwined with each other. And if we follow the right down, we can see where we started going under, over, under, over, under. It's basically a simple weave, just with a few more curves added onto it. Now, the double coin knot is not a structural knot. It is not something to anchor a rope in place to something or to another rope. So we can imagine that these two weaves up here are going in and out of a corset. You put down the double coin knot as a new start and stop point. The corset is done, we have a double coin knot, makes it look pretty, and these two weaves can go around the hips, underneath, point together, do something on their own. It's not a structural knot, it's a pretty knot. It helps you get from one place to another. All right, let's do the other knot. So I have my rose gold rope right here, and we're going to tie it into a heart knot. It is a beautiful Gaelic knot that has been used for many, many moons. So we're going to start by creating an overhand loop like that. The rope will go over itself, becoming an overhand, and then we'll create another overhand loop. And then those two are going to make sweet, sweet love with each other. So you'll pull the right one into, underneath, and a little bit through the left loop that you created. Then you're going to take the end of your rope, and you can already see in this offset where we're going to begin weaving. Because this one is below, we need to push it upwards. So we're going to start below that. This one is above, we need to push it down. So obviously we need to go under, over, pull that through, straighten it out a little bit, and then you have yourself a beautiful heart knot. Now, unlike the double coin knot usually needs two weaves of one rope to add together. A heart knot can be done through the middle of any length of the rope. That way you can create a garland of small heart knots that go across, or something to that extent. Use your imagination. It is boundless. Do as you please. These little decorative knots will help you add a little of your own flair to any shibari rig you're working on. Well now, didn't we learn a lot of wonderful information? We did learn how to make a few fun decorative knots, but we also learned when to own up to our little mistakes when we make them. History is always changing, and it's always good to do a little extra research. It's always important to note that I am a font of information. It's true, but I am not the be-all, end-all font of information. There are plenty others who do way better than that. It is always important to have multiple sources of information. I will be one source for you, yes, but you should have multiple sources. Not just with shibari, kenbaku, and suspension, but with anything you do. The more sources, the more points of view, the better off and more knowledgeable you will be. Speaking of beautiful sources, I would like to thank my other sponsors, the lovely people over at Patreon. That's patreon.com/Rory's Brainworks, just like this YouTube. They are my rope vanguard, my colonizers of dreams, and without them, these artistic endeavors would be so much harder to accomplish. Thank you for spending your time with me. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this madness, comment down below what kind of shibari kenbaku things you would like me to teach you. As always, I'm Rory, this is my brain. I'm fairly certain it works. Be safe, and go create some art.